Yes, it's been almost 6 weeks since we last met. Wow. September 8th, today is October 27th. So I've missed you all, but I've been out in the community since September 8th. On September 9th, I attended the Alumni Hall of Fame VIP reception with the food catered by the culinary arts students. September 10th, attended the President's Circle reception at the home of Howard and Elaine Davis, at which the President's ambassadors were introduced. September 15th, the Athletic Associates.
Wait a minute. What about the 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th?
Well, I have to be at home sometime. I have to see my husband sometime. September 15th, attended the Athletic Associates Welcome Back Randy Tutorp event at the home of Ed and Ann Arnold. September 16th, attended the dedication of the Bob and Barbara Ellis Education Building at Cal State Long Beach. Bob and Barbara are supporters not only of Cal State, but also LBCC. Congratulations to them. September 17th, the Fine Arts Associates held a fundraising event at Halbert Hargrove offices in downtown Long Beach, at which over 100 people attended. They were entertained by two LBCC instrumental groups, greeted by theater arts students, and viewed LBCC student artwork on sale. That same evening, I attended the Centro Cha dinner, at which Trustee Archuleta was honored for achievement in higher education. Congratulations. Yeah. September 19th, I met with Lakewood Mayor Jeff Wood to seek input on the concerns of Lakewood residents who are my constituents. Then I left the country, so I was not around for a while, but on October 15th, I coordinated the LBCC Foundation Board of Governors breakfast, at which the new faculty and staff were in attendance and introduced. The members of the Lead Academy were introduced, and the foundation was thanked for their support. Alumnus John Mike Wolf was named Distinguished Alumnus for his service in World War II as an ace pilot. He was also recognized in Washington, D.C. last May. In the evening of October 15th, I attended the California Conference for Equality and Justice Gene Lenzner Award reception. On October 16th, I spoke to the new faculty about foundation opportunities for grants and scholarships and answered questions. On October 19th, I attended the homeless meeting with Trustee Zia, and we are working on helping assist homeless students. October 20th, attended the Mental Health Association new facility open house. This is on 19th and Long Beach Boulevard, and learned about possible additional partnerships with this agency and our college. October 21, spoke to newly hired classified staff. That evening, attended the Long Beach Ronald McDonald open house gala. October 22nd, attended the Know Your Colleague presentation by art faculty member Carolyn Castano, who exhibited work at the Venice Biennale. October 22nd, attended the Long Beach Camerata dinner, which honored former Mayor Beverly O'Neill and former LBCC president. On October 24th, the Long Beach Rotary had a session at the Salvation Army where we packaged 35,000 packages of food to be shipped to people overseas, feeding the hungry. And I missed, but I want to salute, on September 24th, the Long Beach College Promise Scholarship was extended to 1 full year. And thank you to the Scholarship Office for all their work, and we're very excited about extending that. And then because Gus Orozco is sitting in the audience, I want to encourage everyone to attend the Veterans Day Parade, which is on November 7th. So you could be in the parade in the morning, go to the tailgate at 3 o'clock, and then go to the game, and then after the game is the Fishbowl reunion. And that is my report.
The Fishbowl reunion?
Yes. Unfortunately, Trustee Otto, you're too old, but people younger than you, for instance, Academic Senate President Karen Kane, knows all about the Fishbowl, and I'm sure she'll stop by. We're inviting people who are now in their late 40s and 50s to come back and relive their life in the Fishbowl in the College Center.
They were members of our social service clubs and have a strong tie to the college, and the area in the College Center where they had all their club boards and club meeting space was called the Fishbowl.
So I know you left the country, Trustee Baxter. Did you come back voluntarily, or were you extradited?
I came back voluntarily, and every time I leave the U.S., I have to tell you that I'm thrilled to come home because we have the greatest country in the world, and that's why people should travel to see. And I will give you a great example. I was in Northern Ireland, and in Northern Ireland, in Belfast, they have two schools, two public schools, the Catholic public school and the Protestant public school. And Catholics and Protestants do not talk to each other. They're segregated. And it's really sad in a great big city that two very large groups are totally separated from each other.
Sorry I asked the question. Trustee Kellogg.
Thank you. That's why you two sang a song, Bloody Sunday, that same conflict you're talking about. I was looking on and I won't go through because every date except for the 23rd, 24th doesn't have a dot on it, so trust me, I was busy in October. But I would like to, though, briefly, and unfortunately because of time, the Association of Community College Trustees, which is the national organization, held their conference in San Diego a few weeks ago. This is an organization, obviously, of trustees throughout the nation, and it moves back and forth different locations. The fact it was in San Diego made it convenient, but also gave an opportunity for the California delegation, the largest delegation within the country, to really get involved on some things, especially legislatively, electing California trustees to the governing board. And that was a real emphasis as we went down there. Myself and President Otto were the voting members. You be involved and vote, and California did very well representing himself at that event. And obviously it had a lot of very good workshop sessions, et cetera. Also gave me an opportunity, as the item earlier came up, where I had, knowing that other college districts in California had gone through with a bond initiative previously, and going through the different the people they had used, and it gave me an opportunity to talk to them specifically about that and get some good references and information. So the conference itself is extremely well attended, probably one of the largest attendance they've had, and the reality is being able to go to San Diego for everywhere else in the country is a great destination, obviously, and it was a very well attended, but also the California delegation as well. They did a great job, and a lot of good information, and some I'd like to share in the future at a more appropriate time. Also earlier in the meeting, and I didn't want to say anything at the time because we were trying to move quickly to get to the people that were here, but there was the item on especially Vice President Gable had mentioned about the two projects that were listed, $25 million, and that's for potential budgeting. And what I wanted to say, and I'll just say briefly, is that most people don't realize how detailed and methodical you go through to get potentially state funding, matching funds, et cetera, and the terms, and my apologies to the student trustee who always hears this language called community college speak, but we were dealing with IPPs, initial project proposals, FPPs, final project proposals. You have your five-year capital plan, you have your educational plan, you have your facility plan, all these things that take place to get to the point of when you're going to actually build your facilities, and then to actually get the funding. And we're looking at the options, obviously, with the local bond, but then also to look at the state. And the reason my apologies, but to bring that up, those things just don't happen where suddenly we go, well, we have two projects, we have two campuses, and so that's the maximum you can really get. And also, and I'm sort of rolling back to the ACCT conference about being involved, is Vice President Gable is very involved in statewide facilities. So we have a voice who works here, but also in assisting the statewide, and that is beneficial to the college. You may not realize it, it's not something that you look at, but it is critical, especially when we're going for those limited dollars. And we don't have to get those dollars, but you have to qualify, and there's a lot of reasons why you qualify in a long process. So we just had that brief report, but there's so much that goes into it, and I didn't want that to go by without really complimenting the college, and in particular our staff, Vice President Gable, for all their hard work, Superintendent President Oakley, to get those things done. Now, it's not a complete deal, but it is one of those ongoing efforts. That's why you're involved in organizations statewide and putting the time in. And the ACCT was another one of those efforts, and again, it was very well done. So again, thank you all very much. I'm only going to caution everyone because we seem to be very excited that we're number one. I'll only say if you look in our newspaper, there was also a women's water polo team that was not Long Beach City College. That was number one. They played Long Beach City College, and they're no longer number one. They lost. So it's wonderful to be there. Hopefully, we're successful against the Tigers of Riverside City College, Chuck Kane's domain at one time. And they are, though, a very good team. I'm just hopeful we're successful in that fight because they have always been a very good team. But there's no guarantees except you've got a big target on your back. But I wish them the well, and they've done an outstanding job. And I hope by the time we do get to homecoming, they're still in that position to defend it. But congratulations to our women's water polo for knocking off the #1 team in the state. So that is really what I wanted to touch on. The final one, I've requested this, and it was mentioned by our Superintendent President Oakley. It was kind to be invited to the foundation, who now have developed the Long Beach City College Foundation, for a strategic plan that I worked with them on. Trustee Baxter asked me quite a while ago to be involved with that. We're in the middle of working together on a succession plan that Superintendent President Oakley had mentioned with the retirement of the foundation executive director. And the reason I'm bringing those points up, again, I'll reiterate that somewhere in our schedule in the near future, before it becomes too late, I think it'd be valuable for the foundation representatives to come and do a presentation to this board to tell them, one, what the strategic plan is, because that's what they're going to follow, and also answer some questions on the succession plan, not only the succession plan for the executive director, but for the effort to hire 2 other positions, and the commitment that this college, and in particular this governing board, will have to make to support that foundation. That foundation is very unique in many ways, successfully, et cetera, but it just doesn't happen. And so it's an exciting time, but I'll just request that as things seem to be moving quickly forward with the foundation on changes, positive changes, I hope, for everyone, and also where they're trying to achieve in the future. So, and we'll be having opportunities, the foundation, to honor the executive director for all those years for her commitment, but she's not going anywhere. We do know that. So if that can be potentially arranged in the future, I think that'd be valuable. And with that, I thank everyone, and everyone have a wonderful Halloween coming up in a week. Thank you, thank you, President Otto.
Yeah, I've decided to tell you from my report what I'm going to do next month. Is that okay? Or in the beginning, no. When we started these trustee comments, it was the top of the 8th in the World Series. The Mets were ahead 4-3. It is now the bottom of the 10th, and they're tied 4-4. Kansas City got a home run by Gordon in the bottom of the in the bottom of the 9th, and so there it is. So, with that, that's my report, and we'll move on to agenda item 10.1, public comments on non-agenda items. And we have 2 comments. The first is by Marshall Belofsky. Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Marshall Blasowski, retired USC professor, and I used to teach here. I made a big mistake tonight, and that was picking a non-agenda item. I realized that I should have talked about the agenda and just talked about whatever I wanted to, because I've been sitting here since 5 o'clock. But I just was concerned. The reason I came to this board meeting is I watched the last board meeting, and I was just concerned about the collegiality of the people on the board, and there was so much dissension, especially between Sunny Zia and the president, and so I was just really concerned about that. And I think transparency is really a key issue when you're spending the public and the voters' money. And I think that it's a sacred trust that the voters have given you. And I think it's just very important. Tonight, I thought tonight's meeting was pretty great. I didn't really get any, I think people are really getting along pretty well. And a lot of good things are happening at the college. I'm really happy with the, the student success program and other programs that are going on. So I think it's, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. One of the things that is very important is that it's too bad if you're going to change anything about the elections, you've got to either have them in November or during the primary season, because nobody in Long Beach is voting for anything. We had like 17% of the vote of the voters came out, and that's not really democracy. So I just wanted to thank you for allowing me to speak. Good evening.
Thank you. Thanks for coming down. And finally, Karen Roberts, who even outlasted Marshall to get here to talk to us.
Non-agenda item. What are you going to do? Good evening.
Excuse me, and we're really enforcing now, or trying to enforce this thing about it. You can't pick something and say, I'm going to speak early and pick an agenda item if you're not going to talk to that agenda item. And that's not about you at all.
Right.
But-
No,
but we're doing that
I'm
now.
pretty good at following the rules. Anyway, good evening, and so 3 minutes and you'll be out of here. So when I first became president of CHI, I thought a good project for us to take on would be to start creating a database and keep track of this sort of revolving door that we have of part-time faculty kind of going in and out. And, oh my God, so it's, general craziness, because it is truly a revolving door. And as you know, but we were going back over the database figures, and I do get the payroll report, so I'm able to sort of track using payroll reports. And I was surprised, as was the rest of the executive board, to see that since 2012, there's been a 50% turnover in part-time faculty, which is pretty high. I mean, yes, there's been hiring of full-time faculty, so they're teaching more FTEs. But I think we can all agree this is pretty high. And so the question is, why are they not staying? And, I think that's the ongoing question. But, I think since we've been passed by Cerritos in terms of our hourly pay now, we're really one of the lowest paying. We don't have rehire rights. We just need to create more stability for our part-time faculty. I firmly believe this is also a key to student success. It's not good for students to have instructors who are coming and going and coming and going. And I know, my students like to be able to stay with me, from one art history class to another art history class. And I like that too, because I get to know them and then I can help them. And there's always the whole idea of office hours, which is sort of on my mind now, because I'm spending so much of my time with students that I'm not paid for, and I give up my break and my 3-hour class, and I'm before class and after class and emailing students because they need that help. And of course, I feel really bad saying, I'm not going to give you that help. What am I going to do? I mean, I feel it is my job as a teacher, but I just feel like if we were to at least give some paid office hours to part-time faculty, that would go a long way towards student success, because a lot of them do spend that extra time. But I did want to bring this to your attention about the 50% turnover, because it's a little bit alarming to me. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. A second closed session is not necessary. I make one observation about what Karen said, and it's a very important topic. But in 2008, there were 2.7 million community college students. Now, we went into a recession. Now there's pretty close to 2.1 in California, and it's not because they don't want to come here. It's because the state's not paying for it. And we have to remember that in the end, it's how and what priority we hold education. So with that, we will stand adjourned.